Yeah,
she
she did.
did, Jerry. Did she rent a car?
Yeah. No, she's playing the picture.
Oh, you had to go get her.
Her dad did.
Oh.
What you say, Jim? Bullshit, I just had one that was playing the music on my way
I love it
in.
with the sound. That's really nice.
The first people came to look at it, oh yeah, we're live.
Here's to you, America, and its Schaefer Salem Autorama Dodge. You're the one that racks up the savings. But once the equalizer gone, the prices go up. So the time to save is now at Schaefer Salem Autorama Dodge. 339 South Broadway in Salem. Open Monday and Thursday till 9. Saturday till 1. Now it's time for On the Sideline. Chris Lamb. Playing Struthers last week. He played Salem. It's about that. They had the interception. Yeah, we got
to us tonight, huh? So we're here at Riley Stadium. The Quakers have the ball. Their own 25-yard line. Noah brings his troops out to the line. John takes the ball, drops the ball on the snap, and Miller fumbled the ball, and it looks like the Quakers recovered their own fumble.
Yeah, and recovering it, Jason Austin getting the starting nod tonight. He looks to be fully recovered from his injury.
And the Quakers are running a hurry-up type of offense with no huddle. And Struthers appears calls a timeout.
They have to. They just got caught in defensive assignments there. They didn't have the right personnel on the field, so it looks like Salem throwing a wrinkle at Struthers that no one's seen before, and it's good to see because Struthers tonight is going to pose a unique challenge to the Quakers because they run that kind of offense we kind of expected to see at Poland last week. Struthers offensively runs a veer, a lot of ball handling. They usually go with 3 backs in the backfield. They have some quick backs and some big backs, too. And the key to the Salem Quakers game tonight is keeping the ball out of Struthers' offensive hands.
And the Quakers, it looks like they're going to score on some of the Cincinnati Bengals hurry-up offense. Struthers was alternating some defensive personnel, and the Quakers lined up as soon as didn't even take a huddle. Then the second play, they lined up again, and Struthers had to call a timeout. We had a little bit of problem. We didn't get our usual free game in, and coming into this ball game, the Quakers are 3-3. Struthers in at 4-2. We beating LeBray last week. They man up about the same size. Miller brings his troops out from the huddle. Got a split right slot left. Miller's back to pass. Throwing a little lob out here to the right sideline. It's out of bounds. Overthrown, and that was to Nicky Snyder.
And on the coverage that time for Struthers, it was Gino Morrell. Morrell, a senior, 165-pound, 5'9" player.
The Quakers again won't take a huddle. It's another hurry-up offense. We got twins to the left. Single back, and that's Chris White. Miller's back to pass. He's throwing down to Martin's over Martin's left shoulder. He was turned to the right, the inside, and he had to look back across the shoulder, and the pass was incomplete, so it'll be 4th down and 11 for the Quakers from their own 24-yard line. That was a beautiful pass. It was a little bit to his outside, Chris.
I was going to say, that looked catchable from here, though, Pat, and I really think he could have had that ball. Just a little bit of concentration. The defensive man right there on his hip, and a good pass by Lance, and the Quakers are coming out firing just like Coach Kunar said they would.
Well, back for Struthers is number 3, and that is Bryce Gendrant, and he's the quarterback. And Schramm gets the ball off, and it comes to number 38. Number 30, and that's Paterno, and he takes the ball in his own 45, and he takes it down to the Quakers' 30-yard line. A beautiful run back by Paterno. Paterino.
Coming into tonight's game on the punting, well, the Salem Quakers hadn't been looking too well. According to the Mahoning Valley Conference stats, Matt Schramm averaging 27.4 yards a punt, and with that return and all, they're going to give him a 30-yard punt on that. But with the return, it's really not much of a gain for Salem Quakers.
Nice high punt, but Struthers out of the huddle. Durant's coming to the left. He's going to keep him on a keeper, and he is knocked down on the Quakers' 25-yard line. And that was the initial hit was put on by number 24 for the Quakers. Center takes the ball, hands it off to number 21. A straight dive play, and he is tackled immediately by number 74 for the Quakers.
That's going to be Brian Gruey. First time we've called his name or number this season, and it's nice to see Coach Fred Kunar getting some playing time out of some of his younger players, and well, get them a little bit seasoned for next season, because next year will definitely be the Quakers' year.
So it'll be 3rd down and 5 for Struthers on the Quakers' 25-yard line. In at tight end is Ron Moses, number 87. He's 5'10", 170 pounds. We got a pro set backfield. Number 41 is the fullback, Lacent. And handed off to number 21, and that's Strozier, and he takes the ball off the right side and takes it down to the Quakers' 10-yard line. That will be a 1st down for Struthers on the Quakers' 10.
Nice run that time by Struthers. Coming into the game defensively for the team, Salem ranks 5th in the MVC. They give up an average of 4.1 yards every time the other team's offense carries the ball. And they're even worse on passing, folks. Salem comes in dead last. They give up an average of 95.8 yards a game. So the defense has to stand tall here and cut down this threat.
Barnett's at fullback, Strozier's at tailback. Ball's handed off to Strozier. He goes off the left tackle, and he is hit.
Nice hit, Chris White there to stick him.
Yeah, that's a 3-yard gain for Strozier. Barnett's at fullback. He is at 6 foot tall, 200 pounds. He's a senior. Gentile is a flanker back, and he is a 5'9", 165 pounds.
Come on, Salem!
Gendrant is the quarterback, 6 foot tall, 165 pounds. And Strozier is 5'10", 160 pounds. They're pro set backfield, split right, double tight. Gendrant, and we have a penalty.
Yeah, that's going to definitely be movement on Struthers, and they're going to whistle that one on Bob Mulick. Mulick he's only a sophomore, 255 pounds though. Not the most experienced player that Struthers has up there on the line, but he is big and just kind of hopped a little bit early, so the Quakers catch a break.
By the looks of things, Struthers can get a 1st down, Chris. They're just about, the 1st down mark is about a half a yard short of the goal line, so it'll be 2nd down and 12 for Struthers on the Quakers' 13-yard line. The Quakers have done some alternating again, putting a little bit bigger front on their defense this week, and they've gone into a man coverage in a 4-4 defense. The same set, split left, pro back, handed off, fake the first man through. Grant takes the ball, and he goes around the right end, and he is hit immediately at the line of scrimmage. And that also, one of the hits is by Chris White, and number 64 for the Quakers, and that's Matt Alex.
And that was a nice read that time by Chris White. He came right up there, and he had to key on the quarterback because he's a shifty little character. He's only 165 pounds. They have him listed at 6 feet on the program, but I think that might be generous, Pat, because he just looks like a little water bug out there.
So it's 3rd down and 10 for Struthers on the Quakers 11. Pro set back. Fake the handoff. Grant's going to pass. He's rolling to the left. He's going to run the ball. He stopped it. Dropped for about a 1-yard loss, and the initial hit was by number 76 for the Quakers.
That's going to be Sam Augusta. He's played big defensively all season long for the Salem Quakers, and, well, there was a big play right there, and the Salem Quakers get out of it, and they might get out of it with only a field goal, but maybe not even that, because we were watching Struthers warm up earlier tonight. Their kicking game is less than stellar.
Number 58, Pete Carbone, is going to try the field goal. He's a soccer-style kicker. He's going to kick it from about the 17. It is blocked by the Quakers and kicked out of the air. It looked by number 12, and that would be Lance Miller, but he's going to have to take a look at that again until he gets off the ball. That's number 15, Chris Cochran. So the field goal was blocked, and that was blocked by number 74, Brian Gruey.
I was going to say, he's been playing tough here so far, early stages of the ball game, and he gets in there, gets a nice hand from his coach, and a nice block. The Salem Quakers dodge a bullet. The only thing now, they're going to start deep in their own territory, so it's time to get up there and move the ball. And the Salem Quakers tonight, Pat, have to do it through the air because you might have heard about it earlier. Struthers runs a bear defense, a lot of men up on the line.
Quakers get out of the huddle, hand it off to, fake the handoff.
Safety.
To Jason Austin, and Miller goes to roll to the left, and he is sacked. We can't tell if it's a safety or not.
I don't know. It looked like he was in the end zone, or he ended up in the end zone, and Struthers is celebrating.
Well, it looks like you're going to give it to the Quakers on their own 1-yard line, and it will be second down and 14 from their own 1. It's a beautiful fake to Jason Austin off the left tackle, but the Struthers Wildcats didn't take the fake, and they went right after Lance Miller.
Well, right there, Pat, something that you don't have a lot of time to do when you're deep in your own territory, is set up and let a pass pattern develop. If you're going to run the passes, you got to run those quick hitters, or maybe some quick handoffs, and try to get the ball out of there.
Split right, slot left, hand it off to Austin. Austin goes off the left tackle. He brings the ball out over the 10-yard line and out to the 13-yard line. A beautiful run by Jason Austin, and he doesn't look like he is hampered by that ankle at all. I talked to him last night, Chris. He said it was bothering him a little bit last night. Today I saw him downtown. He said it wasn't bothering him at all. Of course, he's a football player,
too. I was going to say, that's game night, and all injuries are miraculously cured on Friday night.
Well, it's third down and 5 for the Quakers from their own 10-yard line. We have number 17 coming in the ballgame, Matt Schramm. He's going in for Brian Martin, bringing the play into Lance Miller. It's third down and 5 from the Quaker 10-yard line. We have Bensley to the right, Schramm to the left, and there's a penalty on the Quakers.
Delay of game.
Too much time. So it'll take it back to the 5-yard line. The Quakers will be third down and 10 from their own 5.
Well, here we go. It's going to take a big play now to get them out of their hole. Like we mentioned just a bit earlier, their punting game hasn't exactly saved them a whole lot. Only 27 and about 27 and a half yards a punt. So the Salem Quakers have to get a big play going here, and they got to get out of their trouble because they're deep in their own end.
We have the same set, split right, slot left, pro set backfield. Miller's under center. Takes the ball. He's going back to pass. He's rolling to his right. He's going to throw a ball off the right. This is Chris White. Chris White takes the ball out of bounds on the 12-yard line. It's a nice little reception by Chris White. It's about a 7-yard, 8-yard gain.
Doesn't look like it's going to be enough for the first down. That tackle made by Rob Kidd, coming up from a linebacker position. Kidd's a junior for Struthers, 5'11" 175 pounds.
Well, it'll be fourth down and 4 for the Quakers. They'll be back, Schramm back to punt. He got a nice high punt the last time, but there was no coverage downfield. There's the snap. He gets the ball off. It's a little bit better punt. It's going to be taken on the 30-yard line. Fair caught by number 30 for Struthers. That's Vito Paterno. And the Struthers will take over on the Quakers' 46-yard line.
Schramm's been consistent tonight. That's his second punt and his second 30-yard punt of the ball game.
The Quakers are going to have to do a little bit better on defense because Struthers is running a little counter plays and is doing a good job. The linebackers aren't picking up their reads, and they're getting the tackles, but in their own secondary. The ball's handed off to number 21. He fumbles the ball, and he's recovered by number 65 for the Quakers, and that's Mike Mary. The ball is handed off to number 21, Lamont Frazier, and he fumbled the ball, tried to get back on it, and he couldn't do it.
He just dropped the ball. Everything looked okie-dokie from up here. The handoff looked good. It looked like it just maybe hit his uniform and slipped out of his hand. So now the Quakers get the ball right around midfield, and now they can do a little bit of movement, let the longer pass plays develop, and, well, maybe see if they can't get something done through the air here to open up something on the running game.
We have Martins to the right, Bensley to the left, pro step backfield. Miller's under center, takes the snap, hands it off, ball off to Jason Austin. Austin is off the left tackle. He's over 50, 45, down to the 35-yard line on Struthers, and Jason Austin just ripped off a beautiful 20-yard run.
And I tell you what, you know how much Jason Austin means to this Quakers offense. Last week against Poland in that Saturday afternoon game, Jason Austin came in for a drive in the second period, and he led the team with 31 yards on that drive, and the Quakers took the ball 72 yards down into the end zone for a TD.
We got Martins to the left, Bensley to the right, pro set, Miller gets the ball, hands it off to Austin. Austin goes up the left tackle, and Austin breaks another 13-yard run, and he will take that ball down to the 21-yard line. As Struthers is a beautiful, just a straight dive play off the left tackle, and he made it all on his own. One defender, and it was going to be the goal line for Jason. Jason is running like he wants something tonight.
Yeah, and that was Derek Skevnicki on the tackle coming up from behind. If he hadn't been there, it would have been TD time for Jason.
Schramm's in for Martin. We have Bigham's in for McKinney. We have Schramm to the right. Binsley to the left. Handed off the first man through, and that's Chris White. And White gets a couple hard yards up the middle. And he'll take the ball just to the 20-yard line. It will be second down and 8 for the Quakers on Struthers' 20-yard line. And we had a little extra activity down in the secondary by one of the defenders, and Schramm had Schramm down on the ground, and he was doing a little bit of blocking while Schramm was down.
Schramm's going to come over to the sidelines right now.
Martin's to the right. Binsley to the left. Pro set. We got Austin White in the backfield. Handed off to Austin. Austin takes the handoff, goes right off the right guard, and he gets another couple yards, takes it over the 20-yard line, down to the 17, and it will be third down and 5 for the Quakers from Struthers' 17-yard line.
Might be a good psychological game being played out now by Fred Kunar, because the first time the Quakers had the ball, they tossed a couple of nice floaters over to the sidelines, and I'm sure that caught Struthers by surprise a bit, and in turn, that loosened up things on the inside for Jason Austin and Chris White when they've had to run it, and I think it might be time to do that again, because it looks like the D's starting to tighten up a bit now.
That's Schramm to the left, Binsley to the right, Pro set. Miller takes the ball, hands it off, fakes the handoff, throws the ball down, and it's going to be dropped, almost intercepted by number 3 for Struthers.
Bryce Gindrat, he should have intercepted that ball too. He was right there, that ball was in his hands, and he just couldn't hold on, so Lance Miller gets a break, too, because he was rushed hard from his left side that time, and he was lucky to get away with it because that man was hugging him around the waist when he threw that pass.
A little mix-up in the backfield. We saw Austin take the fake, and then we saw Chris White going up the block, and he ran right into Lance Miller, and Miller was thrown off his tracks, and he was off balance when he threw the ball. We have Schramm to the left, Snyder to the right, Austin split to the left, to the right. Single backfield. We're going to throw a little law pass over. Snyder went down to his knees, went underneath the defender, come back on his feet, and it caught the ball on the 4-yard line. The Quakers will have a first and 10 on Struthers' 4-yard line. You explain it, Chris.
Shades of Marlington there, because when he fell down and the defender thought that ball was going to be incomplete, and Schneider just stood up and said thank you, and then he was instantly tackled down. But, well, the Quakers get a break here, and they're a serious threat to score now.
So pro set backfield, double tight. Austin's deep. He's going to take the ball off of the right tackle on a lead block by Chris White, and Austin goes to the 3-yard line, so it'll be second down and 3 for the Quakers on Struthers' 3-yard line.
That time, Sean Binsley stacked up in the backfield along with White and Austin.
We had Binsley at the right half, Austin at tailback, and Chris White at fullback in a pro set offense with a double tight. We have the same set, only Binsley's going to be to the left, Austin's tail, White at fullback. Miller's going to take the handoff, pitches out to Austin. Austin's going to go right on the left side. He's going to take a foot race to the end zone, and he's going to get down to about the 1-yard line. Austin had a foot race for the corner of the end zone and just barely missed getting in, and he was hit over there by number 52, Chris.
Yeah, number 52 was one of them, Jeff Rusick, and the other one was Bryce Gindrat. We've been calling his name a lot tonight. He seems to be a Mr. Everything for Struthers, and looks like they're within about a foot or so of the end zone pass.
Well, when we saw the short yardage plays before, Chris, we saw Lance Miller going directly behind his center and doing a little sneak. We may see it again tonight. Struthers has got a real tight set. They got 9 men up front. We've got the pro set back, double tight. And we have a penalty flag. It looks like one of the Quakers moved early.
I think that's going to be movement on Salem, and if it is, it's going to set him back.
And Miller was in the end zone on that play, so it will be negated, and we'll be back for a third down and probably 6 for the touchdown for the Quakers.
I was going to say, and it looked like it was either the left guard or tackle that moved just a little bit early.
So the Quakers one more time, try to shoot themselves in the foot. They're on the 1-foot line, and they had a penalty by the right side of their line moving too early. So it'll be 3rd down and 6 for the Quakers. We have 20 seconds left in this first quarter of action between Salem Quakers and the Struthers Wildcats. We have the same pro set. Bensley right. Austin to the left. Austin's faking. It's going to Bensley. Bensley. Bensley's hand, and he was in for the score.
He beat Lamont Strozier on the play, and I think Strozier was also expecting there to be a run that time because that was a gorgeous fake to Austin. And, well, there goes Bensley right by him for the TD.
Austin had a beautiful fake. White led the block. He picked up one of the blitzing linebackers. Now we're going to have Ben Edgerton in to try the extra point. Holding for him will be Sean Bensley. Ready for the snap. There's the snap. It's a good snap. The ball is up, and it is. The ball is short. He got underneath the kick a little bit. So with 5 seconds left in the first quarter, Salem Quakers 6, Struthers Wildcats nothing. We'll be right back after this message.
James M. McKay, attorney and founder of the Home Savings and Loan Company 100 years ago, led the Infant Enterprise for more than the first half-century of its history. It was James McKay who conceived and established the operating principles and the character of home savings, much as they exist today. He had a deep sense of obligation to the community and directed much of his personal time and that of his staff to public service.
AM 600 WSOM, your station for the Salem Quakers.
Welcome back to Riley Stadium. 5 seconds left in the first quarter. The Salem Quakers just scored on a nice little flip pass from Lance Miller to number 24, Sean Bensley. The Quakers are leading right now 6-0.
And, every time the Salem Quakers have scored first, they've never lost the game. So this might be a good sign for the Quakers. They need this to draw even with Struthers in the Mahoning Valley Conference. That scoring drive, Lance Miller to Sean Bensley, a 6-yard TD pass off the misdirection. Again,
well, it's the end of the first quarter with the Salem Quakers 6, Struthers Wildcats 0. We'll be right back after this message. It's another great Salem Quakers, Struthers Wildcats NBC flash tonight. The Quakers are leading 6-0. To give you a little rundown of the Struthers backfield, we have number 3, Bryce Gandrick, the quarterback. Number 21, Strozier's at a running back. Morrell is another running back. Marshall's another running back, and also an end. Gentile, 31, is alternating the fullback along with Barnett. Struthers comes out of our huddle. They've got a twins to the right. Pro set backfield. We got movement on the line for Struthers, and that is by...
Yeah, that movement had belonged to Chris Gentile. He kind of jumped a little bit early. He was lined up at tight end that time, and he just jumped. That's twice that's happened to Struthers, and I think maybe it's Gindrat, but he bursts out the signals. He alters his cadence just a little bit because he seems to be drawing his own men off sides. I don't think that's normally the way it goes unless the quarterback's trying to draw the defense off.
We have the same set. We have twins to the right, pro set, single tight. Gindrat's underneath the line, and they're moving again.
And that movement is going to be on number 56, Rob Kidd, and it has to be the quarterback that's doing it.
It looks like the Salem defense are doing a little side shuffle. They're not moving very much, but they're moving a hand, they're moving a shoulder or something, which is legal on defense, and it's drawing the offensive line to move a little bit, which you can't. Once you get down to the three-point stance in high school, you cannot move a muscle. So it will be first down and 20 for Struthers, back on their own 30-yard line. Gindrat is going to do a little quarterback draw, and it goes almost nowhere. He gets a 2-yard gain on that.
Matt Alex there to snuff him out, though. He read that play all the way, and you knew that Gindrat was looking to run all the way. I mean, he just took that ball, tucked it under his arm, and he was going. Yeah, he's a dangerous quarterback because he can run with it. Haven't seen him throw yet, though.
Gindrat dropped back like he was going to pass, and his fullback, Scott Barnett, he's 6 foot tall, 200 pounds, stepped right in front of him and was his lead blocker, and he didn't fool anybody for the Quakers. We have a split to the right. The ball is handed off to Strozier. Strozier's going around his right end, and he is stopped on the 34-yard line. Struthers own 34-yard line, and he gets about a 2-yard gain on that, and it will be third down and approximately 18 for a first down for the Struthers Wildcats.
And that was Chris White on the defensive coverage to wrap him up down around the ankles that time. Chris White's had a good game defensively, and he's thrown some good blocks for Jason Austin, too. And you got to feel good when your man comes back and he's racking up the kind of yardage that he is. Austin has 48 yards already, folks. He's only carried it 6 times.
And the type of plays that Struthers is running against the Quakers are counters, and they break for big yardage if you don't follow your keys. We have flanks to the right, pro set, take a handoff, and he's going to pass the ball, and he's laying it way out. Oh, the ball is going down to the 25-yard line. That was about a 50-yard pass for Gindrad, and it was over everyone's head. So it'll be 4th down for the Struthers Wildcats on their own 34-yard line.
Yeah, that one just wasn't too close to anyone, but he was intending that pass that time for Gino Morrell.
We watched Struthers in the pregame practicing, warming up, and their kicking game wasn't that good either. So going back deep for the Quakers will be number 10, Nick Snyder, and number 34, Lance Pennick. Glad to see Lance Pennick back after this week he had some trouble with his shoulders. Number 58 is going to be doing the punting.
And we have movement again on Struthers, and I think they're going to probably whistle number 66 for it. Or I'm sorry, number 68, Mike Horvath.
Well, we got him again. That's the 3rd penalty in this drive, and it was all movement on the line. First, it was the left side, then now it's the right side.
I'm sorry, that was number 66, John Evans. As I looked on our roster, we see we had a number change.
Pete Carbone will be doing the punting, and he'll be punting from his own 20-yard line. The ball sits on the 30 right now. There's the snap. It's a good snap. He's going to get the kickoff. It's a nice spell. It's going to go to Lance Pennick. Lance Pennick lets the ball drop. It dropped on his 25, and it's going to go back inside the 20. And Pennick, being the sophomore, it might have been a little shaky, but that was the catchable punt, and he should have been running with it.
Yeah, plus he was a little bit too close to where that one landed. One bounce, it goes off his ankle or leg, or even bounces off his body, and that's a free ball for anyone. If you're not going to catch it, then you better get away from it.
So the Quakers, again, will start pretty deep in their own territory. They're going to be starting on their own 17-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Quakers on their 17. We have twins to the left. That's Martins and Binsley. Single back, we have a slot left. Miller's underneath center. He's going to hand the ball off to the first man through. That's Jason Austin. And Austin is hit immediately in his own backfield.
Yeah, and that's big number 75 for Struthers doing it, Jim Lanzo. Now, you mentioned Lanzo was a good one before. He's a 6'3", 250-pound senior.
And he is a nose guard. We saw him play last year, and he did a fantastic job against the Quakers last year up the nose. But the Quakers did some things last year, and they ran around the outside to get away from the young man.
That punt, if you wonder, by Carbone, 53 yards.
Gets split right, slot left, pro set. Martins hands the ball off to Austin. Austin is off the left tackle, and he brings the ball back out over the 20, out to the 23-yard line. He gets a little 2-yard loss back plus yardage, so it'll be 3rd down and 5 for the Quakers from their own 23-yard line.
Tackle by Pete Carbone. I'd like to remind you, too, this high school football game is brought to you in part by the Home Savings and Loan Company, where you can choose from a broad offering of savings plans to suit your specific financial goals.
Bigham's in for McKinney, the tight end. We have Martins to the left, to the right, Binsley to the right. We have a slot right, single backfield. Miller's going to back the pass. He's going to throw a little short pop to Chris White. It's a low pass, and White had to go down on the ground for it and couldn't come up with the ball. It was just a little 3-yard pop pass to Chris White out of the fullback slot, and it didn't go anywhere, Chris.
And I think if they'll watch the films on that, they'll see why, because Lance threw that one off balance. You know, when you run, you need to be a certain way when you throw it, and he was just off balance. He was back a little bit too far.
So Schramm will go back to punt. Deep for Struthers will be number 30, and that's Paterno, and number 3, Granata. And the ball will go down over the 40-yard line and out of bounds at the 43-yard line of the Quakers. Another short punt by Schramm.
Yeah, 19 yards, Pat, and well, Schramm is, like you mentioned, he kind of has his problems, but then again, when you look down the roster, you see the Salem Quakers have some young kickers. These aren't veteran players, folks. Ben Edgerton, well, he's a junior, and Schramm, he's a junior also, and like you said, they're just not veteran players yet.
Watching the freshman ball game the other day, though, Coach Kunar is looking at a freshman punter coming up. He averaged, in 4 punts, he averaged 49 yards the other night in the freshman ball game. Struthers takes the handoff. It's a little quick pitch out to the left, number 27, and that's Marshall. Marshall takes the ball over the Quaker 35-yard line down to the 34, and that will be a 9-yard gain for Struthers.
That was Chris White in on the tackle for Salem. Also, Brian Gruy back again.
Gindrat just stepped back one step and threw it out to Marshall. And Marshall caught the ball and took it down the right side. We have a split left. Wing left. Pro set. Gindrat's underneath the center. Takes the ball. It's a little counter. It's handed off to number 5, and that's Travis Stocker. Stocker takes the ball off the right tackle, and he goes down across the 30-yard line down to the 26-yard line for a first down for Struthers.
Lance Miller made the first hit. Chris Cochran finished him off, and now Struthers starting to show why they're kind of dangerous on offense because they have some speed. And, well, like we've been mentioning, that kind of negates Salem's big advantage against a lot of teams, and they also have a little bit of size up front.
Stocker came out of the left wing. We have a change of quarterback. Derek Skivnecki is the quarterback. Skivnecki gets the ball, hands the ball off to number 21, and that's Strozier. Strozier goes off of the right tackle, and he is down across the 25, down to the 21-yard line of the Salem Quakers. Derek, number 11, Derek Skivnecki, is 6 foot tall, 185-pound senior, and he's in replacing Gindrat.
I think they just had to give Gindrat a break because he's been running all over like a crazy man offensively and defensively. I imagine you'll see him back here shortly.
We have split left, wing left, pro set, single tight. Takes the ball. Skivnecki is rolling out to his left. He's going to toss the ball, and he is caught down at the 5-yard line. And number 5, Travis Stocker. Beautiful catch by Stocker right along the left sideline, and he goes out of bounds on about the 5-yard line. So it'll be first and 10 for Struthers on the Quakers 5.
Hey, and that wasn't a bad toss that time by Skivnecki either, folks, because he laid it right in there to him. And a good catch on a cold night by Stocker. Any ball that has just the littlest bit of zip on it tonight is going to sting just a bit.
Skivnecki rolled to his left. He's a right-handed quarterback and put some mustard on that ball. It was like a clothesline out there. Split left. Double tight. Pro set. Motion man going to the left. He's set. He's going to pitch it out to the left, and that's to number 21, Strozier. And Strozier goes in the left corner of the end zone for a touchdown.
And he beat George Biggin that time around the corner.
All it was a little quick pitch for the Skivnecki to Strozier, and Strozier just outraced everybody to the corner of the end zone.
Well, I'll tell you what, you knew where the ball was going to go, too, because Skivnecki was turning around, and I really thought they might have been able to nail the quarterback for motion there. He turned around, and he said, "Hey, you," and he was talking to the man that ended up getting the ball. He got right there where he wanted him. He gave it to Strozier, and away they go.
Carbone trying the extra point. It's up, and it is good. So the score with 6 minutes and 27 seconds left in the first half of this ball game. The Struthers Wildcats 7, the Salem Quakers 6. We'll be right back after this message.
It's another great edition of Salem Quaker High School sports, and the Salem Morning Journal is proud to be a sponsor of this game. When there's a sporting event, you can count on the Journal to be there. Call them today and subscribe. Call 424-9541 and ask for circulation. Salem High School Athletics on AM 600 WSOM. Brought to you in part by the Salem Morning Journal. Proud to be a sponsor of the Salem Quakers. Your station for the Salem Quakers, AM 600 WSOM, Salem, Youngstown.
6 minutes, 27 seconds left in the first half of the ball game between the Salem Quakers and Struthers Wildcats. Chris, what's the stats on that touchdown?
Well, that wasn't a bad drive. 43 yards, most of it on the ground. It only took 2 minutes and 20 seconds, 5 plays. And the pass, Strozier, it was a pitch out. Strozier, 5 yards. Carbone point after touchdown.
Carbone will be kicking off deep for the Quakers are Nick Snyder and Lance Pennick. The ball's going down to Pennick. He takes the ball on his 15-yard line. He's coming around the right side. Makes a nice little cut. He's over 25. He's in the 35-yard line, and he is hit and tackled on the 35-yard line. And the young man we were just talking about that made a mistake on the punch just did a beautiful job of retrieving himself and running that ball back from the 15.
That's right. The tackle made by Bryce Gindrat. And, yeah, a couple of nice cuts there. And if he hadn't gotten tangled up in the traffic of his own men, he might have got a few more yards on that.
Now, the Quakers are going to have to come back and do something a little bit different in this series. We see Martin to the left. Bensley to the right. Two back, stretch. Miller gets the ball, hands it off, fakes the handoff to second man through. He's going to throw the ball down the field. It's going to Bensley, and Bensley just a little bit over his hands, outstretched hands of Bensley. Miller threw it down to the 35, and it was incomplete.
And he beat the defensive back that time, Travis Stocker, just a little bit too long for Bensley.
Lance Miller did a good job. He rolled to his left. Beautiful fake to Jason Austin to fake me out. I thought Austin had the ball, and then he pulled it back out and was rolling to his left to throw a nice 35-yard pass just a little bit over the outstretched hands of Bensley. Quakers come out of their huddle. We have Bensley to the left, Martins to the right, Furley back. Miller gets the ball, pitches to Austin. Austin is going to be stopped. He cuts back and gets about a 1-yard gain on that. Austin was stopped in the backfield. He had to cut back in to the line, and he made about a 1-yard gain on that, so it'll be 3rd down and 9 for the Quakers on their own 36-yard line.
Jeff Rudzik was playing Chris White tough that time on the block. White was trying to fight him off so they could spring Austin around the corner, but Rudzik got in the way and broke that play up.
Then Martins to the left, Bensley to the right. Miller's going back to pass. A little quick out to Bensley. Bensley gets the ball, and it's knocked out of his hands by the defender.
Boy.
And that's number 22, Chris.
Yeah, number 22 there on the coverage. That's going to be Gino Morell, and that was one of those plays where the Salem fans are going to say, ooh, interference. And that's the one where the coach on the other sideline is going to say, no, it was a clean play all the way.
Well, Bensley had the ball in his hands, and the defender stripped the ball from Bensley's hands. And that's what you teach a corner or a defensive safety. Schramm's going to punt. He almost gets a beautiful high punt. We're calling for a fair catch down here, and the ball was taken on the 32-yard line of Struthers, and the ball was fair caught by Paterno.
And that was one of those punts almost blocked. And sometimes you'll see that the punter will almost get the ball stuck back at him, and he'll just launch it beautiful. And that was a good one by Schramm that time. And no return on it, and the Salem Quakers finally pinned Struthers back just a little bit. 32 yards on the punt.
And the thing about that punt, it was nice and high, and his coverage was able to get downfield, and Paterno had to fair catch the ball. We have twins to the right. Pro backfield.
Gindrad in as a wideout now, Pat.
Konecki's back to pass. He's going to run. Throws the ball over to number 27, and that's Steve Marshall. And Marshall gets the ball on his own 44-yard line, and that's enough for a first down.
I'll tell you what, the way he runs around, you better watch out or he's going to cross the line of scrimmage one of these times. He was close that time, but he's a quarterback that I think Struthers needs because he has some mobility back there, not to mention some size. Skavnicki, 6 feet tall, 185 pounds.
Well, Skavnicki is in at quarterback, and we saw Gendrick coming in at a wideout. We have Skavnicki in. We have twins to the left. It's another quick pass out to the left, and that's to Gindrack. Gindrack gets the ball, and he takes the ball over the 45 to the 47-yard line. What they're doing is they're just stepping back one step and throwing a ball out to one of the wideouts and hoping that they can break some of the coverage.
Well, I think they realize that the Salem Quakers are dead last in passing defense, and those plays are going to be effective, Pat. And team rushing, Salem really not that much better, so if you don't show them a whole lot, like give plays a lot of time to develop quick hitters, you'll catch the Salem Quakers defense a lot of times.
2nd and 7 for Struthers. He's got twins to the right. Furley. Skavnicki hands the ball off to number 21, Strozier. Strozier goes over the left tackle, and he is cut down after a 4-yard gain. And that will take the ball across the 50 out to the 47-yard line of the Salem Quakers.
And right now, Struthers having their way offensively with Salem, and the defense, even though the first drive of the ball game they stood tall, Struthers put together a pretty nice drive there when they scored in the second period.
So it'll be 3rd down and 2 for Struthers on the Quaker 47-yard line. We have twins to the right, pro set backfield. Skavnicki's underneath the center. He is going to hand the ball off to Strozier. Strozier is dropped at the line of scrimmage.
Well, that's going to be short of the first down by about 2 or 3 yards as we look down the line here.
I'm trying to get the number of the young man that made the tackle, and that was number 57 for the Quakers, and that was Matt Stamp that made the tackle on that play. So it'll be 4th down and 2 for Struthers. for a first down on the Quakers 47, and we have a timeout called by the Salem Quakers. So with this timeout, we'll be back after this message.
James M. McKay, attorney and founder of the Home Savings and Loan Company 100 years ago, led the infant enterprise.
First and 10, Struthers.
Offensive player, but Lance back in his position now.
Marshall had the ball, and last minute, the lead, he shifted it. It brings to the left, full set by the right. Hanner up, take a hand from the corner.
Derek Skavnicki's pass, intended for Scott Barnett. Incomplete. Second down and 9.
Setback is because Mickey pitched the ball up and Struthers is going to be down and hit off the 2-yard line on the third down.
Lamont Strozier, the ball carrier. Tackle made by Mike Peary and Chris White.
Also in on the tackle for Salem, number 73, Scott Ricochet.
Third down and 3. From the 6-yard line.
Get him, Sil.
Come on, Salem! Dean Coleman in to attempt the field goal.
that's what they need to do. Under center. Miller gets the ball, hands it off to Austin. Austin is going to catch again. He brings the ball out to the 19-yard line.
Jason Austin, the ball carrier. Tackle made by Jeff Rudnick. Second down and 5.
Okay, Salem!
I don't got a game.
And a key penalty on the last drive for Struthers in the first half as they gave the Wildcats their first down, but Struthers could not get the points on the board. Sam has 4 punts for his average on the season, 27 yards. And for the first time this year that I can remember, Struthers is leading the time of possession in the first half. They had about 12 minutes and 10 seconds, and the Sam Quakers had about 11 minutes and 50 seconds. Taking a look at the scoring drives in the first half, Salem got on the board first. A Lance Miller to Sean Bingley pass, 6 yards, traveled 54 yards, took 9 plays in 4 minutes and 41 seconds. The Edgerton point after attempt was no good, and Salem led by a score of 6-0. Struthers then scored on a Sturzier 5-yard run on a 43-yard drive that covered 5 plays, 2 minutes and 20 seconds. Carbone's point after attempt was good, and the Wildcats went on the board leading 7-6. All right, I'll take a look at the first half. I'm going to turn it back over to Pat Rossetti. Thanks a lot for the halftime stats, Todd. And right now, we're going to go back to the studio for the continuation of the on-the-sidelines interviews with Chris White and Lance Miller. So we'll be right back after those interviews.
Tonight, Lance, you're going to have to get the bear defense. That's a big plus. You're going to see a lot of different looks. You're going to see maybe some... Well, both of you are the captains this year of the 1989 Quaker team. Tonight's going to be Parents' Night. I know it looks like it's going to be a good night tonight. Maybe we will get some rain. Maybe we won't. But I know both of your parents are proud of you this year, and they probably like to hear that, yeah, you are going on to go on to school after this year. What are your feelings about this season? What are some of the things that the ups and downs and some of your happy points and disappointments this year, Chris?
The thing I was disappointed with was our turnout. We only have 32 people, and but we have the people that want to play, and I think as in other years we've had kids that don't want to play, and the team's record has shown that. But this year I think we have the kids that want to play, and our record's just showing it so far.
Well, we saw you at tailback a couple of weeks ago, and up in the booth, and the fans along the sidelines, and we're in front of the booth. Really didn't realize you could run as well as you did. I saw a lot of good things. I saw some of the good cuts you made. catching the angles and running hard. What did Coach Kuhnhauer say to you after the ball game when he after you ran for all the yardage?
Oh, I think he was surprised. I haven't really carried the ball all that much, but they put me back there because I think they know I could do the job.
Well, Lance, last year you were a wide receiver and pretty well up in the rankings of the MVC. Stepping in at quarterback this year, what were the hardest things that you had to overcome coming in from the wide receiver and not playing quarterback for a few years? I know you played some in junior high school and maybe your freshman year. You've been a wide receiver for a while.
It was just a real hard transition. Reading defensive backs and coverages was the hardest part, mainly. Just all the responsibility that goes with it was hard also.
Well, everybody's going to be hearing this right before game time. So, Chris, you have anything you want to say to the fans out there before I let both you and Lance go? Well, I know you want to say something out there. Well, just tell them all to get down there and support the team. You know, that's basically what it's all about, and this is what this sports show is for all you athletes down there. Lance, do you have anything you want to say to the students and the fans and everybody in town?
We've been working hard all summer and trying to get a victory, so come out and see us win tonight.
Well, I want to wish both you young men good luck tonight. And we'll be down there. We'll be on here at 7:15 with this broadcast. And I know that everybody will be out there rooting for you tonight. And good luck against Struthers tonight.
Thanks a lot, man.
Feature number 76. Yeah.
It does not let your defense get down underneath the ball to stop the run back. Struthers will take over on their own 29. Struthers is back to pass. He throws the ball across the middle. That's number 20. Takes his team out of the huddle. He got twins to the right, pro set backfield. Gets the ball. He hands it to the first man through, and that's the fullback number 43, and that's Barnett. And Barnett takes the ball over to the 45, out to the 46-yard line.
And some nasty hits being applied in there. Carbone was the man trying to lead the way on the block there. He came busting through to try to open up the Salem Quakers defense.
And Scott Wickersham, number 73, made the tackle on that play, and that's the first time we called his number made. And that was just a basic dive play to check out the defensive line for the Quakers. And number 43, Barnett, did a good job, and it'll be second down and 6 yards for Struthers. Twins to the left. The ball's handed off to Stover. And he takes the ball, and he is hit immediately as the line of scrimmage and falls forward for about a yard gain.
Chris White on the hit that time for Salem. He's been playing a very good and a very solid defensive game tonight. He has played pretty solid the season, despite he's done just a little bit above his norm.
Strozier is a quick tailback. As soon as he gets the handoff, he is up to full speed. And if you let him go through your first part of your defense, then he's going to be in your secondary very fast. We have a double tight. We have a wing left. That's Morrill. We got a pro step backfield. Barnett out Skarnicki is rolling to the left. He's throwing the ball downfield, and it is caught on the 35-yard line, down to the 30-yard line. And that is number... We can't pick up the number on that one. Number 27. And that's Steve Marshall caught the reception. He came off of the tight end position down across the Quakers' middle of the secondary, and got a beautiful reception by Skivnecki. And Marshall to the left. Skivnecki hands the ball to number 21, and that's Strozier. And Strozier is down to the 25-yard line and making most of that on his own second effort. He was hit on the 30-yard line and rolled around and went down to the 25, Chris.
Sam Augusta and Larry Barnett pushing and shoving that time. And I'll tell you what, Strozier put a nice hit on Chris Cochran. Cochran coming up from the safety position, and Cochran just kind of put his shoulder down, and I don't think that's going to be enough to knock Strozier down, because he's certainly not a small person, 160 pounds, 5'10" tall. On the other hand, Cochran, well, he goes 185, or I'm sorry, he doesn't go 185, he goes 165. He's 6'3" tall, though, a little bit more of a string bean.
That was just a little counter trap, and it was a beautiful job. It looked like Skivnecki was going to pass the ball. Skivnecki gets the ball, takes it to Barnett, rolls to the left, throws the ball down the field, number 27. That's Marshall. Marshall gets the reception down inside the Quaker 10-yard line. A beautiful fake pass, fake rollout pass by Skivnecki to number 27, Marshall. And that will take the ball down inside the 10 to the 7-yard line. And that was about a 30-yard pass play.
I was going to say, that's the second time this drive they've run that very same play, and it's been very effective both times they've done it. They just get their tight end out there and have him break towards the sideline, and he's right there. Sean Bensley is supposed to be there on the coverage.
So it's first and goal from the 7 for Struthers. Motion to the left. Skivnecki pitches the ball to Strozier. Strozier's going around the left side, and he is hit immediately down to 6-yard line.
And on the tackle, Scott Wickersham coming up from the other side of the line. He ran all the way over to the left side of the field and hauled him down from behind.
The running game is not confusing the Quakers. It's the passing game that's confusing them, and they cannot pick up their keys and stay with their man as they're going to cross into the secondary.
Well, it seems like they're stacked to the run, Pat, because they have a lot of defensive men in the middle of the field, and when they have to spread out, boy, they have more holes in their D than Swiss cheese.
Here, Skivnecki at quarterback, Barnett at fullback, Strozier at tail, and the split to the right is number 27, Marshall, and we have a penalty flag.
Movement on Struthers.
And that's the second time deep into the Salem Quaker territory that Struthers has made that mistake.
Boy, they had a drive earlier in the ball game that they had 2 consecutive plays where people moved early, and they have a problem with that.
Well, it'll be second and goal for the Struthers Wildcats from the Salem Quakers 11. And right now, the Salem defense is going to take a timeout, and we'll take a timeout for this message.
James M. McKay, attorney and founder of the Home Savings and Loan Company.
Well, we've been watching Steve Marshall. On that play, he lined up as the left tight end, and he was making a dart right across the Quaker secondary, and he got stood up in the end zone, and the Quakers did a good job defending that. So we have a timeout for the Struthers Wildcats. So with this timeout, we'll be back after this message.
For over 20 years, Warren Molded Plastics has created success. The key has been hard work and the support.
gets the ball, takes the hand off, he's rolling to his left, and he is looking, he's getting rushed. We got a penalty on the play, and there's a touchdown by number 33, Barnett, but we have to wait a minute. It looks like a hold, and it is against the same
I'm sorry, not Pete Carbone, but Rob Kidd, number 56. I read his number right. Rob Kidd holding that time, and well, it was right in front of the officials when the quarterback, Skavnicki, was being rushed.
I don't remember Quaker that was doing the rushing, but as soon as he was about to get a hold of Skavnicki, Kidd just dragging his hand around.
That's a big mark. Quite a bit tonight, because they can still move.
Well, it'll be 3rd down and 25 yards to go for a touchdown for the Struthers Wildcats. We have 27 Marshall. Split to the left. We have a flanker, split to the right, flanker right. Skavnicki's going rolling right to pass. He's getting a little bit of a rush. He's let the ball go, and it is batted down by number 15, Chris Cochran. And Cochran does a good job, and Chris, again, number 43, Barnett. There should have been another penalty on it because he was grabbing Matt Alex all over the back.
I was going to say, Mike Neary was there helping out on that coverage for the Salem Quakers. Struthers, yeah, they did seem to get away with a little bit there, but I don't think anyone's going to really worry about it right now unless they make it into the end zone. That's where they have to go, folks, because they were in a goal line situation right now. Ball sitting on the 25, but it's still fourth down, 25 yards to go.
Well, who do we look for in this position? We look for Marshall.
You got to look for Marshall because he's the man who can go through all that.
Marshall's lining up at the left tight end position with a first step back, so split right, take the hand off to Struthers. Skavnicki's back is going to throw to Strozier. Strozier drops the ball. He was jumping high in the air to get that pass, and the Quakers will take over on their own 25-yard line. Good defense. Bad offense.
The Quakers get a great hand from the fans, and they certainly do deserve it. Yeah, you might say that the Struthers killed themselves that time, but hey, like they say sometimes in other sports, one of them being soccer, the goal bar.
Left, slot right, hander off to Jones. Jones goes off the left tackle. He's across the 40, 35, down to the 37-yard line, and Jones is first hand off today and does a fantastic job of running over the right tackle, and he gets a first down. That's a 13-yard gain for Reuben Jones. I'm sorry, Jason. I'm looking at Jones. Jones on the sideline, and that was Jason Oscar. We had Grande in at fullback for Chris White.
I was going to say, I think Pat's having the flashbacks to Poland when Reuben did a good job.
Reuben's number is 43, and I'm seeing 32 on Chris White. White's back into the ballgame. We have Austin White, Kingsley, and Schramm in the ballgame. The ball is handed off to White. White is over down to the 40-yard line, and it will be a 2-yard gain. It'll be 2nd down and 8 for the Quakers from their own 40.
And the Salem Quakers finally got the ball in half-decent field position this time. And even though it's still quite a march to the end zone, it's at least a little bit more likely that they can hit it.
Schramm's in for Martin. We'll have Bingsley, Schramm, Austin, and White. But Bingsley to the left. Schramm to the right, pro step backfield, hand it off to Austin. Austin is off the right tackle, and he is hit immediately at the line of scrimmage.
Pete Carbone.
Carbone did a good heads-up job. He just banged Austin, and Austin went back a step on that tackle.
And I think Carbone was laying for Austin that time because he was right there as soon as he hit the line of scrimmage to say, "Hi there, I've been waiting for you."
No fake to White on that play. It was a straight dive to Austin off the left tackle. Austin's coming out of the ball game. Number 10, Mickey Schneider is going into the ball game. We have a single back. We have split right, slot left, flanker to the right. Miller's going back to pass. He's throwing it, and they're incomplete to Bingsley, number 24, and in and out of the hands of number 21 for Struthers. And that's number 21, Lamar Strozier, and we have a penalty on the play.
Yeah, and I think they're going to whistle that one on Salem number 76. And that's going to be Sam Augusta. I wasn't quite sure whether it was 76 or not, but it appears to be.
Well, Struthers will decline the penalty. It will be 4th down and 9 for a first down. The Quakers will be back to punt. The ball is lying on the 40-yard line. We have slammed back to punt. Cheat for Struthers will be Gendrick, and number 30, that will be Paterno. And Schramm gets a nice punt. Paterno is going to fair catch it at the 31-yard line.
You can never complain with a punt that is fair catch, or fair caught, I guess, huh? They have to go back to school.
Well, Struthers will take over on their own 31-yard line. We'll see what the Quakers can do with this defensive set.
That was a 30-yard punt for Schramm, and he's punted quite a bit tonight. He's punted 5 times.
It's a double reverse. That's the number 3, Granette. And Granette is going to be stopped for about a 2-yard gain at the 35-yard line.
Ooh, did he bake number 76, Sam Augusta. Augusta came shooting up there. It looked like he was really going to put a hurting on Gendrick, and Gendrick just stepped inside and put a move on him and left Augusta hold nothing but turf.
So that'll be a 3rd down and 6 for Struthers from the 35-yard line. The Quakers done a little bit better job of defending the run. They do a fine job of that at the pass. We see Marshall splitting to the right. We have a slot right, pro set backfield. Dubnecki's back. He's going straight drop back pass. He's looking for the pass. He's going to throw off the middle. Intercepting the ball on the 45-yard line and took it back down to the Struthers 30.
He got hit, he fumbled it, but it looks like Salem recovered it.
White did a fantastic job of reading the pass. Dubnecki, the first time we've seen him do a straight drop back, was looking for number 27 again, Marshall, and Chris went up, intercepted the ball on the 45 and took it back down to the 29-yard line of Struthers.
It was bound to happen because they've been going to Marshall all night long, and, well, it was bound to happen that someone was going to sit there and read it and late for that pass, and there it was.
Yeah, Martin's to the left, Bensley to the right, Austin and White in the backfield, Miller's underneath the center. Miller's going to get the ball, he's going to pitch it out to White. White's going off the left tackle. White someone had a handful of his face mask, and White just gets back basically to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, that looked like there might have even been a late hit there on Struthers. I think you might want to whistle Sam Bernard for that because he came in and just piled on top of White when he was down.
Well, it'll be 2nd down and 10 for the Quakers on Struthers' 30-yard line. In college and in the pros, they have what they call inadvertent face mask, and I believe that's what that was. The young man was going for the tackle and just went across the face and caught a finger in there. We have Schramm to the right, Bensley to the left, pro set backfield. Miller's under center, hands it off to White. White goes off the left tackle, and he gets a couple yards across the 30-yard line off his left tackle.
Jason Austin hasn't seen the ball yet in 2 plays on this drive, and it's the best field position the Quakers have had all night.
And that was just a straight dive handoff to White off the left tackle. Evidently, the Salem offense is trying a little bit different strategy. Now we see number 80 coming into the ball game, and that's Biggums, and number 10, Mickey Schneider, coming in. Quakers better hurry up because they'll be called for a delay of game again. 44 Austin's coming out, and McKinney's coming out. We have Schramm to the left, Kingsley to the right. Single back. Miller's going to pass the ball. He throws the ball in the air, and it is knocked down by number 21, Strozier, and there is going to be a penalty. And it looks like pass interference against Struthers.
Yeah, it's going to be Strozier. That pass was intended for Schneider, and Schneider was there, and Strozier just got a little bit too much of him as he tried to get up high and back that pass away. So the Quakers catch a break. The drive continues.
And Schneider is going across the middle against a much taller secondary. Schneider is a sophomore, 5'10", 150 pounds.
Struthers has just had a whole truckload of penalties tonight.
The shot's getting heavier.
You're not kidding. They have 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55 yards in penalties. The Quakers only have 15.
First attempt for the Quakers from the 14-yard line. We have Bensley to the right, Schramm to the left. Handed off to Austin. Austin goes off the right guard, and he is dropped at the 13-yard line for a 1-yard gain. The Quakers are trying to show a little different look and still run the ball. We had Schramm to the left, Bensley to the right, and it was just a basic dive play. Chris White went through one hole, and Austin went through the other. That's the first time he's had the ball in 2 series.
Well, I think some is just too darn predictable, and I think they're trying to spread it around and keep Struthers on it.
Schramm to the left, Bensley to the right, pro step backfield. Austin's a tailback. Hands the ball off to Austin. Austin goes off the left tackle. He takes the ball to the 10-yard line. He fumbles the ball. There's no call by the officials yet.
Now he does. Belongs to Struthers.
Belongs to the Struthers at the 13-yard line. That's the first turnover for the Quakers. and Austin is livid. He believes he was down, and the officials will give the ball over to Struthers on their own 10-yard line.
Well,
beautiful run by Jason Austin.
That was. And the Salem Quakers were moving well, taking advantage of the breaks that Struthers was giving them. And that's the first turnover of the night for Salem, and it comes at a most inopportune time.
Quakers will have to go back on defense.
Big play right now on the D.
Skibnecki brings his team out of the huddle. We have Marshall at the right tight end position. Pro step back. It's going to be handed off to Strozier on the left side. Strozier going across the 20-yard line, and he is tackled at the 21, and there's a penalty on the play.
Yeah, they're going to call a face mask that time, and let me see if I can catch his number here. Number 65, Mike Neary, the man they're going to call the face mask on. He was just trying to push back Strozier a little bit, and he just caught some of his helmet.
So that'll be a 15-yard penalty added on to the 12-yard run by Strozier.
Boy, when it rains, it pours.
So you add, on that play, at the 25-yard play, you cannot have those plays when you have a team that deep in their own territory. Now Skibnecki will have a lot of room to get his game plan working. We'll be watching Marshall again. We have 27 seconds left in the third quarter. Struthers has the ball on their own 37-yard line. First and 10. We have a wing right pro set double tight. Skibnecki hands the ball to Strozier. Strozier's going down the right sideline. He goes over right end, and he takes the ball for 12 yards down to the 48-yard line.
Boy, a couple of pitch outs, one to the right, one to the left, and well, the Struthers picked up a whole lot of real estate. The Salem defense just isn't reacting well.
The fumble recovery was on the Quaker 10-yard line. They have marched 38 yards out to the 48, their own 48, so it'll be first and 10. And that's the end of the third quarter with the score. Struthers Wildcats 7, Salem Quakers 6, and we'll be right back after this message. 10-yard line on a Jason Austin fumble and have moved the ball out to their own 48-yard line on two nice runs by Strozier and a face mask penalty by the Quakers.
Strozier has 74 yards on 16 carries tonight. And I tell you what, he's been doing the Salem Quakers in here. We were mentioning Struthers has really moved the ball a lot tonight on the Salem Quakers defense, but they only have 7 points up on the board. Salem only down by a point. Jason Austin, in case you wonder, he leads them all. He leads the rushing crate, 84 yards and 15 carries, but he did have that fumble, and it came at a terrible, terrible time.
Between Strozier running and Marshall receiving, the Wildcats are really getting a lot on the Quakers. Ball's handed off to Barnett. Barnett goes up the middle, and he takes the ball across the 50 and into the Quaker territory and goes across the 45-yard line down to the 44. And that's an 8-yard gain for Barnett, and it was a basic straight fullback dive off the guard.
Sam Augusta got him slowed up just a bit. Chris Cochran polished him off.
So the second down and 2 for the Struthers Wildcats on the Quakers' 44-yard line. We have double tight, wing left, pro set. Skibnecki's underneath, hands it off to Strozier. Strozier steps over some Quaker tacklers and goes down inside the 40, down to the 37, and he was stopped at the line of scrimmage, did some high stepping, and took the ball another 7 yards.
Boy, he should have been stopped because Sam Augusta and Chris White were both there clogging up things, and he just hurdled them both and managed to break it downfield for a few more yards.
So it'll be first and 10 for the Wildcats on the Quakers' 38-yard line, and the Quakers now cannot stop the running game of Struthers.
The defense has to tighten up right now.
Skibnecki's underneath center. He hands the ball off to Barnett, and Barnett goes across the field. Barnett went across the 35-yard line, but the officials were saying he was down. Barnett fumbled the ball, but I do believe it was the ground causing the fumble.
I do too, but you can always hope.
Yeah. So right now, Struthers has the ball on the Quaker 34-yard line. The Salem Quaker defense. Coach Landers coming out of the field. The Quakers have called a timeout, and we'll have a timeout for these messages.
In its history, it was James McKay conceived and established the operating principles and the character of home savings, much as they exist today. He had a deep sense of obligation to the community and directed much of his personal time and guided himself in public service.
AM 600 WSAM. Your station for the Salem Quakers.
Welcome back to Riley Field. 10:39 left to go in the fourth period here. Salem down by a score of 7-6. I'd like to remind you that tonight's high school football game is brought to you in part by the Home Savings and Loan Company, the area's preferred source for everything from MasterCard and Visa to credit cards to home mortgages, student loans, and car loans, too.
We were talking about the first down statistics, and our able-bodied stats man over there, Todd Bell, told us that Struthers right now has a 12-6 lead over the Quakers in the whole ball game. It's 6-2 in the second half.
They have moved the ball.
Struthers brings the team out the huddle, double tight, ball's handed off to Barnett. Barnett goes off the right tackle, and he takes the ball down to the 33-yard line. It will be 3rd down and 4 for the Wildcats on the Quakers.
I think if you watch here within the next play or two, it's going to be pass time for Struthers. They've been trying to get the Quakers D attuned to the run.
We have a double tight Marshalls at the right side end. We have a wing left. Fake a handoff to Strozier. Skibnicki's rolling to the left, and we have Skibnicki going out of bounds on the 25-yard line, and we have a Quaker down.
Yeah, that's going to be George Biggett. He came and just kind of threw a cross body block on Skibnicki, and he caught it in the ribs, and he's hurt. He tried to get up, looked like he might have got popped in his tailbone or maybe the lower back.
And it was a nice block thrown. Well, we can't say a crackback because there wasn't a penalty at it, but number 27, Marshall, came back and threw a nice block on one of the Quakers' defenders, and that gave Skibnicki enough room to get the first down. So it'll be 1st and 10 for Struthers on the Quakers' 25-yard line. They're coming out in the double tight set. Marshall's at right tight. We have a wing to the left. It's going to be fake the handoff to Barnett. Skibnicki is rolling to the left. Marshall's open. And he's rolling and still rolling. He's got pressure. And Skibnicki. Marshall was sitting, jumping up and down in the corner of the end zone, and Skibnicki just couldn't get the ball off to him. He was rushed a little bit in there, hurried up by number 64 for the Quakers, and that was Matt Alex.
Just I was watching that pass pattern develop that time, and I think that was a play that was designed to go Marshall's way because he was there. He broke into a little steam, and at that point, Skibnicki had got into some problems, and Marshall just kind of stepped back into the end zone where he was there all alone.
And Marshall was running out of the tight end spot. Now he's at the left tight end. We have a wing right, pro set, handed off to Stover. Stover goes up the left tackle, and he is going down to the 5-yard line, and
he fumbled, but
Skibnicki handed the ball to Stover. Stover had the ball on the 22, and he took the ball down to the Quakers' 5. Nice 14-yard run by Stover.
He's been a thorn in the side of the Quaker defense all night. Rozier, and he fumbled even when he hit the ground, but the referees were there to rule him down, and well, things still go the same for the Salem Quakers here.
But we first and goal for Struthers from the Salem 7-yard line. Struthers has been in this position before. The Quakers have also. Now they're going to hand it off Strozier again, and Strozier is stopped dead for a loss, and that was number 57 for the Quakers.
And it was a great play. Matt Stamp, he was there on the tackle to cut Strozier's legs out from underneath him, so the Salem Quakers at least are going to make Struthers earn it when they get down that close.
And we haven't mentioned all night long, but one of the starters for the Quakers are out this week with the flu, and he is a defensive end and a guard for the Quakers, and that's Alan Stokes. So Alan Stokes is out of the ball game, and it makes a little bit of a difference in the defensive set for the Quakers because Stokes is a good defensive end. Struthers comes out of the huddle. They got a double tight wing right, pro set. Take the handoff to Strozier. Skibnicki is going back to pass. He's looking to pass, and he's going to go down and out over the 5-yard line. He was rushed out to by number.
Sam Augusta was there, and Augusta, and also in applying a little bit of pressure for Salem was number 75, or I'm sorry, number 73, Scott Wickersham. And well, Augusta just couldn't haul him down. He tried to grab a hold of some of the shirt of Skibnicki.
Skibnicki took the ball down from the 7-yard line down to the 3. Now the Struthers Wildcats are going to take a timeout. It'll be 3rd down and goal from the Quakers 3, and Skibnicki has been doing a lot of running around in the backfield. Probably the timeouts for a little bit of rest for the quarterback. So we'll be right back after this message.
For over 20 years, Ward Molded Plastics has created success. The key has been hard work and the support of each team member. It's that same spirit that makes Salem High School's football.
We're out double tight wing right, wing left. Motion to the right. Pro set, the ball is handed off to Strozier. Strozier's going to throw off the right, and Strozier goes in for the touchdown. Strozier won it off the left tackle, veered out to his right, and then just dove into the end zone.
Strozier again, and I'm sure that's no surprise. They pitched it out to him going to the right, and that's how he scored his other touchdown, except there was a pitch out going the other way to the left.
Strozier is probably leading the rushing right now for the Struthers Wildcats. We'll get a total on his yardage. We have Carbone in to kick the extra point, along with Stocker holding for the kick. The ball is out, and it is no good. It's low to the left. So right now, with 7 minutes, the third quarter, Struthers Wildcats 13, will be right after the kickoff after this message.
Lorenzo's Restaurant, a Whitmore family meal. Stop by the family place, Lorenzo's, at 387 South Broadway in Salem. And remember, Lorenzo's is open later after all Salem home games, so get together with your friends tonight at Lorenzo's. WSOM Sports and the Salem Quakers.
Right after the incomplete extra point, the kick, we had number 51, Pete Perrone, down on the field, and he is the center that snaps for the punt and the extra point attempt.
And they're taking him off the field, Pat, and he's holding up his left leg like it might be hurt, and he's trying to put a little bit of weight on it. It's either a knee or an ankle, and the way they were working on it, it looks like it might have been his knee. That touchdown drive for Struthers, a big touchdown drive. 90 yards. They took it off the fumble by Jason Austin that happened in the third period. 12 plays, ate up 5 minutes and 34 seconds, capped off by a 3-yard Strozier TD run. That's his second TD of the night, and he's been doing it quite well.
We have Carbone will be doing the kicking off for Struthers. Deep for the Quakers are Nick Snyder and Lance Pennick. The score, the Wildcats 13, the Quakers 6. 7 minutes, 26 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Carbone kicks off. The ball is going deep down to Lance Pennick. Lance Pennick will get the ball on the 15. He's going to the right. He veers to the left. He's going to come back. Went over the 20-yard line, takes it out to the 23-yard line for the Quakers.
And the minute he stopped running, he was in trouble because any hope he had of a hole or a wedge was gone.
Carbone is a two-step soccer-style kicker. He kicks off the same way, and he booted that ball down to the 10-yard line. That was about a 12-yard run back for Lance Pennick.
Say what, Carbone has a pretty good leg, and I'm surprised that they don't use him a little bit more on extra points.
Quakers break the huddle. We have Bigham Binsley to the left, Martins to the right. Ball's handed off to Austin. Austin off the left tackle, and he gets about 3 yards.
Now the Bear defense looks like it has a little bit of some teeth in it because it sure didn't early in the game. Jason Austin was running for some pretty big gains early in the ball game. He had runs of 9, 19, 14, and since then his best run has been 13 yards, and he had that on the drive that he fumbled on.
It'll be 2nd down and 7. They're giving him a 3-yard pickup on that. Schramm comes in for Martins. We have Binsley to the left, Schramm to the right. Pro set back, single face. Miller's underneath center. He gets the ball. Takes the handoff, so throw the ball to number 32, Chris White. White gets it just short of the 30-yard line. And then about a 4 or 5 yard pickup for Chris White.
One of his Vito Paterno on the coverage for Struthers.
So it'll be 3rd down and 3 for the Quakers on their own 29-yard line. And downfield, if Lance could have picked him up, was number 24, Binsley, and he was in the wide open. And that pass was going to go to Chris White all the way. Quakers break huddle. We got Martins to the left, Binsley to the right, pro set.
I don't want to get in the way of your camera.
Miller gets the snap, hands it off to Austin. Austin goes across the middle, takes the ball off the 35-yard line, and that's enough yardage for a first down.
That was a nice hole that that Jason had to run through that time. He just got tripped up at the line of scrimmage and managed to get out there for that first down. And the Salem Quakers need a drive right here because they got to get on the board. 5 minutes and 30 seconds left to go in this one.
That was a 6-yard pickup for Austin, so it'll be 1st and 10 on their own 35-yard line for the Quakers. Miller gets the ball, hands it off to Austin. Austin off the left tackle, and he takes the ball out over the 40-yard line out to the 33-yard line. It was just a little quick play.
Quakers! Running time! You can do it!
You can bet your bottom dollar that Jason Austin has held on to that ball with both hands. He will not fumble again.
Right now, the Quaker crowd is trying to get a little enthusiasm here. The Quakers are only down by 7 points, which is nothing in this ball game. There's 4 minutes and 50 seconds left in it. We have Bensley to the left, Martins to the right, pro set. Miller hands the ball off to White, and White is going to go up to the 44-yard line. He is pushed back, and they're going to spot it short.
John Evans, the man that got the first hit on it, the man that got the last hit was Struthers number 35, Jeff Shevitz. He's a defensive end.
So it's 3rd down and 1 for the Quakers for a first down on their own 44-yard line. And Chris picks up 2 yards. Miller gets his troops set, hands it all. Just goes over the 45-yard line. It may be enough. Depends on where the spot is.
That should be enough for the first down.
They're getting in the
Did you see the way that defense lined up? Everyone was on the line of scrimmage, and that's going to put Austin over the 100-yard barrier. He's at 101 yards, so, even though he missed that one game completely, it only played a little bit against Poland. He hasn't lost anything.
We have Martins to the left, Bensley to the right. Miller takes the ball. He's going back to pass, straight drop back. He's going to throw the ball long down into Martins. And there was a little hand on his shoulder and a push, and the official didn't throw the flag.
Rozier was the man on the coverage, and he's pretty athletic because he came up there to get a hand on it. If not, that was Brian Martins. If Martins isn't any slow person by any standards, that he would have been gone for that TD.
Miller wings that ball a little further, and it's a TD by Brian Martins because Strozier just got the tip on it, and he leaped high in the air, and it knocked it over Martins' opposite shoulder. So now the Quakers have 2nd down and 10 from their own 25-yard line. We have Snyder coming into the ball game. He is going into the ball game for number 24, Bensley.
Some confusion out there. The Quakers seem to be having some problems getting their players from the sidelines, and that play clock has to be winded down.
There's Snyder to the left, Martins to the right. Miller gets the ball off. The handoff to Austin. He takes the ball over the 45-yard line out to the 48. And he is stopped at the 48-yard line. It was a little draw play with Jason Austin.
And in on the tackle, Vito Paterno and Chris Gentile. And the Quakers going to go without a huddle.
Yeah, all right.
Miller's getting the call off. He's going to take the ball back. He's going to pass the ball. He throws the ball a little short, pop out to the left to Bingham. And George Bingham brings the ball up to the 50-yard line. They're going to mark it short of the 50-yard line. It's a 4th down and 10. That play is a very low percentage play when you need 6 yards for a first down.
I was going to say, I think they were just kind of hoping to catch Struthers with their pants down. But Struthers was right there to cover it up and get back on it. They did a pretty good job of covering it.
Right now, the Salem Quakers take a timeout with 2 minutes and 55 seconds left to go in this ball game, and we'll take a timeout for this message.
Salem Drugs is proud to sponsor tonight's Quaker football coverage. Supporting the young athletes of our community just comes natural to the people at Salem Drugs. After all, it's this community Salem Drugs has served for years with prescriptions, health and beauty aids, gifts, and all the items you'd expect from a quality drugstore. Win or lose, Salem Drugs stand behind the spirit of American competitiveness reflected in tonight's game. Salem Drugs at 409 East 2nd Street in Salem.
Bensley and Martins to the right, wing right, single back for a little bit of jump. Miller's going to sprint out to the right and throw the ball. He throws the ball down to... And that is a beautiful 15-yard pass by Lance Miller to Bensley. And that's something we've been looking for him to do all second half, and they just started it.
That's a big play right there, and a nice pass by Lance Miller. A controlled rollout to the right to Bensley, and he found that seam in the defense. That's going to pick up Lance's stance a little bit. 50 yards tonight. That makes him 6 of 13 on the evening.
Brian Martins cleared out the zone, and Bensley went across the zone. Now we got Schramm to the left, Bensley to the right, pro step backfield. Miller's under center. He's going to pitch the ball to the left, and that's to Austin. Austin's going around the left there, and he's going to be dropped at the line of scrimmage.
At best a yard on that. It just didn't materialize because Jason had nowhere to go.
Another hurry-up offensive set by the Quakers.
Quaker! You can do it, plenty of time.
Martins is going to go over to the left, to the right. He'll get set. Miller gets the ball. He's going to throw the ball. Really 25, he's down to the 23. For a first down. The Quakers were a little bit confused.
I was going to say, sorry, Pat, that would look like it was picked off by the defensive end, Scott Barnett. He was right there to dive on it, and when Schneider had that ball, I was quite surprised.
The Quakers are going to try another quick set. Miller's out there trying to get the crowd up a little bit. So right now we have a timeout by the Struthers Wildcats. It's 2 minutes and 8 seconds left in this ballgame. The Quakers are on Struthers' 23-yard line, and we'll be right back after this message.
It's another great edition of Salem Quaker High School Athletics, and the Salem Morning Journal is proud to be a sponsor of this game. From Little League to high school to college and pro, the Morning Journal brings you the best in sport. Proud to be a sponsor of the Salem Quakers. AM 600 WSOM, your station for the Salem Quakers.
2 minutes, 8 seconds left in the small end for the Struthers Wildcats. We got swing to the left, wing left, close set, Miller's back to pass, and he is going to be dropped for a loss back to the 30-yard line, and he was swarmed over by about 5 Struthers Wildcats.
Just to mention a few of them, John Evans was one of them, and Scott Barnett, the man who just about made the interception a few moments ago. So the Salem Quakers now pushed back.
The same setup, the Quakers going with a quick snap. Miller gets the ball from center. He's going to go back to pass. He's throwing the ball long to number 87, Martins. Right now, the score is the Struthers Wildcats 13, the Salem Quakers 12.
What do you do here, Pat?
Hey, Coach Pino has got to go for the win. He's got to go for the win. It's a minute 38 seconds. If he wants to go for the overtime, then we'll have to explain that later on. You're looking at to see what he's doing. Nope. He is going to go for the tie, or we've seen a fake off of this.
Okay.
We've seen a fake it off of this. Edgerton is going in to attempt the extra point.
And we have a delay game on the Quakers. Again, they took much too long. Lane stood out there on the field for about 10 seconds asking the coach for a timeout, and the coach didn't give him an answer. And then he waved his offensive team off the field.
Coach Kunar is going on the field. We'll stay right here to find out what's going on in the field. Edgerton was running out to try the extra point. Edgerton is still going to try. The extra point will be attempted from the 15. It will be a 25-yard extra point.
You know Struthers is watching for the fake right here.
Tinsley will hold the ball for the kick attempt for the field goal or extra point. And it's going to be short.
No good.
Edgerton got over the top of the ball. It was short. So he tried, Coach Kuno tried to go for the tie. We might have had a face off of that. Now, Chris, what we got to do is go for
it's the defensive ball game to win right now. They have to create a turnover, and Struthers, with just a minute and 38 seconds left to go, with a first down, maybe two, they can run the time off the clock. And I really can't believe that they didn't try to go for the two-point conversion. And I'm sure that's a play that the Saturday morning quarterbacks are going to say and talk about for a long time. They're going to wonder why the coach didn't want to win.
Now, Coach, Ben Edgerton. It's a hard situation to put a young man in. Ben Edgerton is a sophomore. He just started kicking this year. It's a situation. He topped the ball a little bit to the short for the extra point. Now, with a minute 38 seconds left to go in the ball game, Struthers is up by 1 point. The score is Struthers 13. The Quakers 12.
Looking at the Struthers lineup here, their front line, they have a lot of the men up front that have good hands, because I think they might be looking for the onside kick here.
That's what they'll call the hands team out there.
That touchdown drive, Lance Miller to Brian Martin's 29 yards, 14 plays, 78 yards. It took 5 minutes and 48 seconds.
Edgerton will be kicking off. It's going to be an onside kick, and the ball will not go over the 45-yard line. The Struthers will take over on the Quakers' 45-yard line. And the officials are conferring about something. No touch.
I think they're going to say that ball did hit, and I think they're going to say it hit Bigham.
So right now, the Quakers will have to go on defense against the Wildcats. There's a minute, 37 seconds left in this ballgame. The score Struthers Wildcats 13, the Salem Quakers 12. And Struthers will be doing everything they can do to run the time off the clock. They'll be taking all the time they can in the huddle. I believe the Quakers have 2 timeouts left.
To say, by no means, folks, is this ball game over. There's still a minute and 23 seconds left, and anything could happen. An interception, a fumble, and the Quakers could be right back in it.
The officials have taken an official timeout, and they have come over.
They want him to adjust the clock, Pat.
We got 138. Wanted them to put 138 back up on the clock. Thought the officials were coming over to talk to the coaches of the Quakers about what transpired on the kickoff. What has to happen is the ball has to go 10 yards from the spot of the kickoff. The kickoff is from the 40-yard line. Once it goes 10 yards, it's a free ball. If it doesn't go 10 yards, it's not touched by anybody. It's a dead ball at that point. The time does not start until an offensive man touches the ball. So right now, Struthers will have the ball on the Quakers' 44-yard line. Skibnicki takes the ball. He drops down, and he's going to be dropped himself down for a loss back to the 47, and the time is running out for the Quakers.
But Matt Alex isn't taking this very well. He came running off the field after that failed extra point attempt, smacking himself in the head, and he just set Struthers' number 5, Travis Stocker, right on his butt. He's pretty ticked.
The Struthers coach Gary Zetz, is telling his team just to take all the time they can off the clock. It's 2nd down and 13 for Struthers on the Quakers' 47-yard line. They're in a tight set. We have movement, and there'll be a penalty on Struthers, so they'll have a 5-yard penalty. It was the right tackle, number 75, who moved, and that was number 75, Jim Lanzo, who's going to have a penalty called against him.
Yeah, right now it's not going to matter a whole heck of a lot what happens, because as long as Struthers holds on to that ball, they can eat up as much time as they need. The Quakers are going to have to start burning timeouts here soon.
Well, it'll be 2nd down and about 20 yards to go for a 1st down. And Struthers has the ball on their own 47-yard line, and the time is ticking off the clock. We're down to 45 seconds, and Struthers just going to stay in the huddle as long as they can. And evidently, the Quakers don't have any timeouts left. It's a tight set. Skibnicki's going to get the ball and go down, and he does. And we have 34 seconds left to go in the ball game, and it'll be 3rd down and 18-20 for the Wildcats.
You know, Pat, if we could go back to that extra point attempt here, that delay of game penalty really hurt, because that extra point kick looked like it might have had enough distance if they'd have taken it from the normal spot. And I think you can only blame that on the head coach. I hate to point the finger, but I think that's the only one he could point it at, because he seemed kind of indecisive there, and Lance wanted a timeout. You could watch him signal it from the sidelines, and the coach waved him off.
Well, we're down to 4 seconds, 3, 2, 1, and this ball game is over. The final score, Struthers Wildcats 13, the Salem Quakers 12. We'll be back for your final wrap-up after these messages.
James M. McCray, attorney and founder of the Home Savings and Loan Company 100 years ago, led the infant enterprise for more than the first half-century of its history.
Struthers Wildcats 13, the Salem Quakers 12. Well, Chris, good ball game.
It was a good ball game.
The Quakers did a heck of a job coming back and scoring the last touchdown. The pass from Lance Miller to Brian Martins down in the left corner of the end zone.
Got the old heart beating, the blood pumping, boy.
The only thing is, and a controversial thing, the Quakers going for the extra point to kick and having a penalty and then trying it from the 15-yard line. Lance Miller was out there trying to call a timeout, but we didn't know if the Quakers were out of timeouts or not. We were discussing that during the commercial break.
Yeah, well, you know, you got to wonder, even if they were out of timeouts, why were they out of timeouts? I mean, you would certainly not burn all your timeouts. Usually you save at least one for the end of the ball game. You never know when you might need it. And, well, I think that's one that folks are going to be talking about here at Salem for quite some time, because, I mean, you mentioned it yourself. Even if they didn't have any more timeouts left, a faked injury is enough to stop the clock. And You know, the coach burned a lot of time deciding what he wanted to do. Lance wanted the timeout. You could see him signaling for it from here. You know that Ben Edgerton's had his problems in the past and point after touchdown conversions. And, you know, even if you just set the offense up and run for the victory, I don't think anyone would complain if you would tried for the two-point conversion and failed. At least you tried for the win. But as it was right there, he kind of took his team out of the ball game. And, you know, if he'd have converted it, well, it might be a different story. It'd be a tie. But then people still might say, well, why didn't you go for the win?
Not trying to put the horse on anybody's back in the conversation we're having right now, but if we were talking about Ben Edgerton before. It is a difficult situation to put a young ball player in. Ben Edgerton, sophomore, coming in, just getting into the kicking game this season in the summer practices and things. And we've talked about it before in the other ball games. The Quakers do have a hard time with their kicking game. We were thinking, or at least I was, of maybe Nicky Snyder, who holds on the kicks, doing a fake and throwing a pass, which we saw in one of the other ball games, and that was against Hudson.
Yeah, that's
As
right.
a matter of fact, when the Quakers were down and needed a two-point conversion, Nicky Snyder got the ball and threw it in the corner, and I believe it was to Schramm in the corner, and it was a two-point conversion. We were kind of looking for that, too. So we're just hashing and discussing some of the things. These young Quakers did play a good ball game this evening. They were a little slower than Struthers, which, and I can't say they were much smaller because Struthers and the Quakers, man for man, lined up pretty much equally. In the speed factor, though, both the ball teams, Struthers was a little bit faster, but the Quakers, with their physical fitness and their abilities and stuff, stayed right in the ball game. A couple of the ball players that did hurt the Quakers, and we have to go back through this, and this was Steve Marshall, number 27, who is set up as an end or a defensive back, and he came off of a tight end position a couple times for passes, and also number 21, Lamont Strozier, and him in his running game. And you have some of the final stats here, Chris.
Yeah, let's go over these final statistics here. We'll start off with the visiting team, the Struthers Wildcats. 14 first downs tonight. The Quakers cashed in 9 times on third down plays. Rushing, 38 rushes for 147 yards for the Wildcats. The Quakers just a hair over 100, 28 rushes for 103 yards. And by and large, most of those rushing yards belong to Jason Austin. He came back, he had 100 yards tonight. Nice job by him, and he really was the shining spot in the Quakers offense. And, well, then Brian Martins came up with that big TD reception. Lance Miller going to finish tonight 8 of 15 for 84 yards passing. While the other side of it, this is a combination of 2 quarterbacks, Bryce Gindrat, and also the man that relieved him, kind of a relief quarterback, you could say, Derek Skevnicki. They combined for 8 of 12 for 112 yards tonight. All of those passing yards belong to Skevnicki. The total yardage, 169 for Struthers. Salem, surprisingly enough, they out-yardaged the other team. And, you know, they did have some big plays when they had to have it. Thing is, Struthers seemed to move the ball all night long on the Salem Quakers. They just couldn't cash it in on the scoreboard. Salem had 187 yards total. Interceptions, Salem didn't have any. Struthers had one, or gave up one, rather. And then a big fumble on Jason Austin's part, and that turned into the 90-yard TD drive that eventually gave Struthers the victory. Struthers also had a fumble and a recovery. Penalties, 4 for 30 yards for Salem, 8 for 60 yards for Struthers. Punts, well, Matt Schramm had 6 punts, 23.5 yards a kick. That's just about his average, though, folks. He's right around 23.4 on the season, at least coming into tonight's ball game. Had 1 punt for 53 yards for Struthers. Austin, he had 104 yards rushing tonight, 21 carries. Strozier, the main man that you just mentioned for Struthers, 21 carries, 97 yards. And Lance Miller, the last drive, his biggest of the night, 5 of 6 on the last drive for 56 of his 84 yards.
We're talking about Jason Austin. Austin was out of most of last week's ball game. He only rushed for around 34 yards. And Austin, coming into tonight's ball game, was 3rd in the league with 399 yards. Now it puts him up over the 500 mark. He has 503 total yards, or rushing yards, this year in 7 ball games. This knocks the Quakers right now down to 3-4. The Quakers are now 1-2 in the league, and they will be playing out of league action next week. They will be playing at Niles against the Niles Red Dragons. And it is not a Friday night ball game. It is a Saturday the 14th of October.
They moved it.
They moved it, and unbeknownst to us until today, we thought it was next Friday night also. So next Saturday, the Quakers will be taking on Niles McKinley. You got some more stats here.
Let's go over the scoring summary here. It might be kind of painful to relive it, but let's do it anyway. First quarter, Salem kicked it all off, and you know, when Salem has gotten on the scoreboard first this season, they've never lost. Lance Miller to Sean Binsley, a 6-yard TD pass. The drive, 9 plays, 54 yards, ate up 4 minutes and 41 seconds on the clock. Edgerton's point after touchdown was no good, and it was 6-0 at the end of the first. Second quarter, Strozier had a 5-yard run, 5 plays, 43 yards, and that one took up 2 minutes and 20 seconds. Carbone had the point after touchdown. No scoring in the third quarter. And then in the fourth quarter, Struthers, the first team to break through, a 90-yard TD drive, took 12 plays, capped off by a 3-yard TD run by Strozier. He had a big night tonight for Struthers, 5 minutes and 34 seconds. Then what you could call the drive for Salem, Lance Miller to Brian Martins, that one 29 yards. The drive, 14 plays, 78 yards, 5 minutes and 48 seconds on the clock. And as we all know, a bit of confusion at the end. Edgerton's point after touchdown after the delay of game penalty by the Quakers was no good. So the Salem Quakers come up just a point shy of the final. Struthers 13, Salem 12.
Well, the Quakers go down again in defeat, leading in the rushing again. They've had a hard time putting points on the board. So, you know, the final score, Struthers Wildcats 13, the Salem Quakers 12. Next week, Saturday night, 7:30, Niles McKinley at Niles. The Quakers will be going out of conference for the first time in 3 weeks. So we'll be seeing everybody, I hope, over at Niles. If you're not going to the game, listen to us right here on AM 600 WSOM. And this is Pat Rigetti, along with Chris Allen and Todd Bell, wishing you a fond farewell for this evening.
Let us not forget the man back at the radio ranch.